Something wild just happened in the racing world, and it has nothing to do with NASCAR. A dirt racing series just made a move that shows how far NASCAR has fallen from grace. Last night in Indianapolis, Flow Racing, the streaming company that shows dirt track racing, bought the Lucas Oil Dirt Late Model Series. That's big news by itself. But here's the part that really matters. They announced they're ditching the playoff format and going back to a normal point system. You know, the kind where you race all season and the driver with the most points at the end wins the championship. Mark Martin, the NASCAR legend, saw this news and went straight to social media. He posted "Hell yeah" on X. And honestly, a lot of fans felt the same way. Now here's why this is such a big deal. For years, short track racing has copied everything NASCAR does. NASCAR comes up with an idea, and the small tracks follow along like copycats. It's always been that way. But this time, something different happened. A racing series looked at NASCAR and said, "No thanks, we're doing our own thing." They're making the change before NASCAR does. A dirt track series is leading the way while NASCAR follows behind. That tells you everything you need to know about where NASCAR stands right now. The short tracks are looking at NASCAR and thinking, man, they're in trouble. We need to do something different. And the fans have noticed too. During the recent NASCAR lawsuit, something interesting happened with fan reactions. People weren't just watching the trial, they were actively rooting for NASCAR to lose. The lawsuit was making fans happy. A large group of people were excited to see NASCAR getting sued and possibly losing in court. They want NASCAR to move the number back to the middle of the car. They want the old point system back. And NASCAR keeps ignoring what fans are asking for. So when the lawsuit happened, fans saw it as NASCAR finally getting what they deserve. Jeff Gluck, a popular NASCAR writer, asked fans on social media what they thought after the lawsuit ended. And here's what people said. They weren't just talking about the lawsuit anymore. Within an hour of the news breaking, fans had already moved on to other complaints. They were asking about the car design. They were asking about the point system. They were asking about the number placement. The lawsuit was just the beginning of a much bigger conversation. One thing became very clear during all of this. Fans move fast. They don't sit around and wait. When something happens, they're already thinking 3 steps ahead. And right now, they're thinking about what NASCAR needs to fix. The lawsuit got settled just like a lot of people predicted it would. Many folks said it would never make it to a jury or even to Judge Bell. And they were right. It got settled before all of that could happen. Everyone who made that prediction deserves credit for seeing it coming. So what happens next? NASCAR needs to make an announcement about the points system. And it needs to happen soon. Probably next week. Maybe not Monday because everyone is just getting back to work. But Tuesday or Wednesday would make sense. The fans are waiting, and they're getting impatient. Here's the thing. NASCAR should just go ahead and do it. Bring back the full 36 race season format. Give Mark Martin exactly what he's been asking for, because so far Mark has been right about everything. He's been calling for these changes, and more people are agreeing with him every day. But there's another issue that fans keep bringing up. The number placement on the cars. Some people absolutely hate where the numbers are now. They want them moved back to the middle of the door, where they used to be. But here's an honest question. Do the numbers really bother you that much? Or has Mark Martin and other people talking about it made you notice something you didn't care about before? It's worth thinking about. The numbers look different than they used to, sure, but does it actually ruin the racing? Does it make the sport worse, or is it just different? And different feels weird at first. Some people actually like how the cars look now. The number placement gives teams more room for the driver's name and sponsor logos. That's more space to make money, which helps teams survive. NASCAR probably isn't even thinking about changing the numbers right now. But people sure are making a lot of noise about it. And in racing, when fans make enough noise, things start to change. Even though NASCAR lost the lawsuit, they're actually in a good position right now. They have a real opportunity to fix things. They can bring everyone together and make all the right moves. They can announce the full season point system. They can go all in on listening to fans. They can address the number issue if they decide it's important enough. This is NASCAR's chance to turn things around. The lawsuit is over. The Dirt Track Series just showed everyone that going back to a normal format is possible. The fans are loud and clear about what they want. All the pieces are in place for NASCAR to make some big changes. Think about where we are right now in the sport. A dirt racing series is leading the charge for change. Mark Martin is speaking up for what fans want. The lawsuit brought all the frustration out into the open, and NASCAR has to decide what to do next. The old point system wasn't broken. You raced 36 races. You earned points based on where you finished. At the end of the season, the driver with the most points became champion. It was simple. It was fair. And it made sense. The driver who performed the best over the whole year won the title. The playoff system changed all of that. Now you can dominate most of the season and still lose the championship in one bad race. You can win 20 races and finish second in points. You can be the best team all year and have it all fall apart at the final race. That doesn't sit right with a lot of fans. Some people like the playoffs because they create drama and excitement at the end. Every race in the playoffs matters a ton. One mistake can end your championship hopes. That makes for good television and keeps fans watching until the very last lap of the season, but other people think the playoffs are unfair. They think racing should reward consistency and performance over a full season, not just 10 races at the end. They want to see the best team win, not just the team that gets hot at the right time. NASCAR created the playoffs to make things more exciting and bring in new fans. They wanted racing to feel like other sports with playoff systems. They wanted that win-or-go-home drama that you see in football or basketball. And in some ways, it worked. The final races get a lot of attention. People tune in to see who will win the championship. But something got lost along the way. The traditional fans, the ones who loved NASCAR before the playoffs, started feeling left behind. They didn't ask for these changes. They liked the sport the way it was. And when NASCAR kept making changes, without listening to them, they got frustrated. Now we're at a turning point. The Dirt Track Series made their choice. They're going back to basics. They're giving fans what they've been asking for. And NASCAR is watching all of this happen. The question is simple. Will NASCAR follow the Dirt Track's lead? Will they admit that maybe the playoff system isn't what's best for the sport? Will they listen to Mark Martin and the thousands of fans who want things to change? Nobody knows for sure what NASCAR will do. But one thing is certain. The pressure is on. Fans are speaking up. Other racing series are making moves. And NASCAR can't ignore this forever. Something has to give. The headlines are already writing themselves. Fans move fast. They've moved past the lawsuit. They've moved past just complaining. Now they're demanding real change. And they're not going to stop until they get it.